Hello, beautiful souls. This is Lynn from Rose Heart Wisdom. I want to talk to you today about silencing the inner critic that plays inside the head. Why is this key and important in your journey of life? And I'm going to give you 2 techniques you can quickly use to help you silence the inner critic. So, I know we're all aware of that voice inside the head that criticizes, judges, blames, compares, sometimes it shames. And on the journey of awakening to greater levels of consciousness, if this inner critic is left unchecked with all those messages, it can quickly spread and cause havoc in some area of your life. I like to think of the inner critic as bad bacteria. If you didn't brush your teeth or floss for a day, you could probably go all right. But after a few days of no brushing, no flossing, no rinsing, you will sooner or later have a problem with overgrowth of bacteria. The same thing applies with the negative, criticizing, judgmental thoughts that the inner critic serves up inside the mind. So, can you think of a time in your life when you wanted to take action on something and you stopped and didn't follow through on it because there was a voice inside the head that said, no, maybe you're not good enough for this, or maybe you don't deserve this? Was there a time in your life ever when you wanted to go right and you ended up going left? And in the aftermath, the inner voice started shaming you, or you heard, a label like you dummy or something along those lines. Okay, that's the inner critic. And when it's left unchecked, you will notice that, you're going to feel unbalanced and out of sync or out of alignment in some area of your life. Maybe it's going to be in the financial house. Maybe it'll be in your career and vocation. You're not applying for a higher paying or improved position in your career. Maybe you're letting opportunities pass you by because of the inner critic, or it'll play out in your personal relationships, home and family life. Parents will often have the inner critic go off, oh, I wasn't a good parent, or I should have done this or that. Schools, you'll hear it through the schooling. If you don't study XYZ, if you don't get this grade, this and that could happen or will happen. And so the mind is under constant attack, or the psyche is under constant attack from the mind. And so I would have done this if I had known that. The could haves, I could have if only I had XYZ. And one of the harshest ones is I should have. I should have done X, but instead I was too, there'll be a label, careless, lazy, stupid. That's a harsh one. And then I didn't. And so all of those scenarios they're in the past or they're in a fantasized future. They didn't take place. So you see, the mind is in the past or in the future. That serves nothing. Okay? And so I want to say to this point, none of us are born with any of that. It's absorbed through the family patterns, what's passed down through the ancestral lineage. A lot of times it's often subliminal. Look at TV. Most of the commercials are something playing on the voice in the head. If only you had had this device, you could have blah, blah, blah. If you had had this insurance company, you wouldn't be in this situation. You know, all these subliminal messages are constantly at play throughout many areas of our lives. So we're absorbing it in the family, in the culture, and just in everyday life. So give yourself grace. Know that this is part of overcoming the thoughts of the mind and not letting them, create havoc in your life. All right, so here are 2 techniques that will serve you to correct that inner critic the next time it goes off in your head. The first one, you have to set the intention every day, and I do this multiple times throughout the day. I'm just going to observe the thoughts that come through the mind. Simply watch your thoughts without judgment, without the voice talking to you. Okay? This only can happen through focused intention. So I call my little technique going to the upper deck. You go to the upper shelf or the upper deck and observe the thoughts that are playing down here. So you're up here watching what goes on in here. All right? The sister of that, or the cousin of that technique, is when you do hear the inner critic go off. Let's say you're having a doubt, you quickly jump in and you go, whose voice is that? You pause. Who is inside my head telling me, I don't deserve to drive that kind of car, or I'm not worthy of living, let's say, in that neighborhood, or having that salary, or that amount of money in my bank account. Like, where is that voice coming from? So you pause and you ask yourself, whose message is this? And once the mind is being questioned and watched, it goes quiet. There won't be an answer, because there is no answer. This is a very strong and effective technique. And it only works when you use it. So think of these techniques I'm giving you like the toothbrush, the dental floss, and the toothpaste. If they just sit on your counter and you don't use them, okay, they don't do you any good. Observing the thoughts of the mind and pausing and asking the mind, whose voice is this? Whose thought is this? That's spiritual hygiene. You're practicing spiritual hygiene. It's like, here's another analogy. You empty the trash out of your waste can in the kitchen or the bathroom. You take the trash out. If you don't take the trash out of the mind, you know what happens. All right. I leave you with wisdom from the Rose Heart today, which is, I experience more peace every day by choosing to observe the thoughts of the mind. If you like this video and content, press the little thumbs up button, and if you feel inclined, put in the comments down below what you do to silence the inner critic. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye-bye.